Hello everyone, it's Junie, and as promised, I am looking at the astrological suspects involved in Summer Wells's case through working with the asteroids. I am going to be looking at an astrological suspect who is a neighbor, okay? It's imperative to remember that I am blotting out the name of all suspects, and I know that might be difficult for you to understand. However, I am not out to do this to be malicious in any way, okay? The more that I probably talk, you can probably figure out who I'm referring to anyway, all right? But I'm trying to be discreet. I don't want to destroy anyone's life. That is up for law enforcement to do, okay? Not me. I really don't want any of the neighbors to be involved in Summer Wells's disappearance. I mean, through the years, we've gotten to know the neighbors of Summer Wells, and they're not all bad. I mean, some of them are pretty bad, but, some of them are really trying to turn their life around, and some of them are trying to rebuild their life. This chart that I'm showing you with an asteroid of the name of one of the suspects, one of the neighbors on Summers Road. Now that's all of the neighbors are suspects, and there's not one that's more guilty than the other as far as I'm concerned. Everyone on that road is considered basically a suspect in my opinion, okay? And this isn't meant to cause harm to anyone. This is just to show you how the asteroid named the suspect's name. Okay, it's actually their name, all right? How it moves over top of Summer Wells's head the day that she went missing. Just like the day that you're born, there are thousands and thousands of asteroids that are flying above your head the moment that you are brought into this world. Some of these asteroids will have your name on it. Some of them have your parents' name. There's an asteroid that has my father's full name, first name, middle name, and last name. Same exact way that he spells it. So, I mean, it's pretty amazing how the universe works. And, I know that the Bible talks good and bad about astrology. I get that. But from how I interpret the Bible, it's just that God doesn't want us to pretend to be an astrologer and know more than him. That we can't predict the future and pretend to know more than him. And I don't know any astrologer that pretends to know more than God. And I would never, ever pretend to know more than God, okay? I'm just reading to you what the planets and what these asteroids are saying. So these asteroids, we have a lot of the asteroids that have the names of the suspects involved in Summer Wells's case, okay? So just like your natal chart, you have a birth time, a city, a state that you're born in, right? A crime chart has the same thing. A crime chart has a birth time, the time that the crime happened, the city and state that the crime happened in, and the suspects involved in that case, or the killer involved in that case, or the kidnapper involved in that case, has an asteroid that has their name on it. And that is what we're looking at now. So I'm showing you that this astrological suspect, who is also a neighbor, appears to show up at 3 o'clock in the third house. The third house rules your siblings, schooling, going to school, short trips, short distance journeys. It's connected to Hermes. So it's the god of messengers, right? The god connected to the gods. It also rules traveling, doing short distant journeys in your local neighborhood or in your local area, and it's activating your throat chakra and working with your hands. So if this person does work with their hands, that kind of indicates that they might be using their voice, working with their hands, talking to a sibling, possibly text messaging, or communicating through text messages. That's even possible at 3 o'clock. And then we're going to follow this suspect. They go into the second house. The second house rules your possessions. Now, this astrological suspect has mentioned that there was a property dispute, and they were very upset about a section of the property that they had always used, and that they were being told that they could no longer access this part of the property. And it was really upsetting. This person was furious about this property, and I believe that it's kind of showing up in the astrology, that they're looking at something as this is mine, this belongs to me. Now that could be the 8th house for possessions and inheritance, because this is something part of their inheritance. Usually when we see people at work are working around their house, that usually dances around the 5th house. So I would have rather have seen this astrological suspect showing up in the 5th house, which means that they're being of service to others, that they're working, right? But the 3rd house can kind of be working with your hands, and the 2nd house can also be making money, how you own things, right? And how you take care of things, how you take care of your possessions. And then by 6 o'clock, they go into the 1st house. Maybe that's when they were starting to talk to the police. Because by the time you get into the 1st house, that's when you put your best face forward, right? That's when you might be needing to talk to a police officer and you need to put your best face forward, possibly. So we're going to follow this astrological suspect between 3, 3:30, 4, 4:30, 5, 5:30, 6, and 6:30. And we're just going to see the movement of how they move through these houses, okay? All right.